Welcome to a special RadioRadioX video interview. I am your host, Justin Smulison, proud contributor here at RadioRadioX. I am delighted to present an interview with guitar maestro Jan Zehrfeld of Panzerballett. Fantastic collective of jazz, metal, fusion instrumentalists. It's wild. It challenges the listener. The brand new album, as you can see, is Œuvre, and we're going to talk all about it. You are hearing their take on a classic American instrumental track called Pick Up the Pieces by the Average White Band, and we're going to talk all about this track as well as several others and what it's like to play these songs live and record them in their various studios and the creative process in general. It's a really wild album. It is going to blow you away. It is available everywhere from Hostile City Records, and Panzerballett will be touring Germany and other parts of Europe May 8th through May 17th. So we're going to talk about those dates as well. Let's get to it. RadioRadioX fans worldwide, please welcome from Panzerballett, Jan Zehrfeld.
We were just trying to get my pronunciation correct on the name of the album. It's Œuvre.
Yeah.
Close enough?
Yeah, Übercode Œuvre or Übercode Œuvre. That's okay. That's fine.
And it's coming out next week, April 25th. And you've released some singles. You got Alien Hip Hop. You got Pick Up the Pieces. We're going to talk about those. But the album's coming out in a week. How do you feel about it right now as you're anticipating its release?
I feel amazing because finally it took so long until that release. It's usually it didn't take that long, so it's because Panzerballett is we've been around for 20 years and we released 7 albums before that. Mm-hmm. So that's the number 8, and there was never more than 3 years between 2 albums. So this time it's 5 years.
Okay.
That's probably due to the pandemic situation, the lockdown situation that caused everything taking a break, and also the creativity. Well, it was still there, but everything took longer, and but on the other hand, I had more time to think about stuff, and I had more time to put efforts into something. So this is a special release. It has. I have the feeling there is even more work behind it and more efforts behind it than it used to be in the former albums, which were, of course, also very. What do you say? It took a lot of energy. So, but that's a special one. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And I noticed you open with "Bleed," which is a Meshuggah song, and it goes dun, 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 and it slows down. Really, it starts out fast and then it slows down. And I was amazed at how you were able to capture that. And starting fast and slowing down, I would think is much harder than starting slow and building up.
It's actually it's kind of the same thing, because if you notice, it's gradually becoming slower, and then it starts fast, getting slow, and then you have it gradually slower and then gradually faster. And the thing behind it is the tempo is not actually getting slower or faster. It's just the listener maybe has the feeling it would, because it's put set arranged like that, but the musicians keep it in the same tempo, being in the same tempo, and it takes just a lot of control and a lot of whatever. It takes a lot of time to be able to create this illusion, staying in the same tempo but pretending to slow down gradually. That's
it's a mind blower.
Yeah. Not only for the listeners, also for the performers.
Right. Yeah. Sure. I would think that's a tough way to start things off, but you pull it off really, really well.
Thank you.
No, man, you're doing great. This is. Are you okay with the? I mean, are you okay with the description of jazz metal fusion? You're cool with that? That's what you're doing, right?
That's what we do. It's jazz metal fusion. Yeah.
And what led you to that style? Love of both?
Yes. I started as in the age of 16. I grabbed the guitar, and it was the time Guns N' Roses, Metallica, AC/DC, and I was so much the rock guitar. And but I also started when I picked up guitar like a year later. I kept practicing that stuff, but I also got to know some jazz stuff from the local big band or the school big band. And I got into reading some of the charts, and I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do, so I got into it, and I was fascinated by jazz from the start too. So even the jazz that made me pick up when I started seriously considering learning guitar for making a living out of playing. So that's when I started studying jazz guitar, and I got deep into jazz guitar. But at the same time, the metal stuff was actually what I actually wanted to express.
Right.
And well, it has been like two worlds, and they didn't want to know a lot from each other. It still is like that, but it became. I have the feeling that it became maybe in the last 15 years. There are the open-minded people and musicians. The community, the open-minded community, is growing, really growing, and there are more experiments and more crossovers, and people get better at what they do, and people get more open-minded. There are more bands that do this kind of stuff, but but back then it was not like that. Not yet. There were just maybe a few, and these happened to be my heroes at the time. These when I found like a gem, like for instance Tribal Tech or Meshuggah or then there's a New York-based band, the Screaming Headless Torsos. I don't know. Yeah,
I've heard the name. Yeah.
Yes. All of these bands, they had something that, like, well, Meshuggah, not jazz, almost no jazz, but this was a rhythmic aspect. But the others, like Scott Henderson, Tribal Tech, and like Screaming Headless Torsos, and they had this kind of both of the worlds inside them. They have a profound knowledge of each of the other's world.
Yeah.
So and there were not a lot, like only a few who had these profound knowledge and open-mindedness. Also, like Virgil Donati, Planet X, something like that. They had these metal parts, and then they had these fusion or jazzy soundscapes. And I thought, wow, that's what I want to do.
So
I heard,
well, that leads me to Virgil. I was wondering how you connected with him. If you want to tell us the short version of how he got involved.
I was always following what he was doing, and at one point of time when we were just still around 2 years or 3 years, we got to open for Virgil's band, The Devil's Slingshot, and in Germany, and this was the first time we met. And then I met him a few times in the years after that too, on some of his gigs. I came out, and eventually, and so he knew, he was aware of the band at some point, and because there are so many bands that say, well, I'm doing stuff too. Would you consider working with us? So may have been tons of these bands wanting to work with someone like Virgil, but yeah, I got him to at least remember the band. And one day we had the NDR big band here, the Northern German Broadcasting big band, and they wanted to cooperate with Panzerballett, and they had a budget. And they said, well, you can actually, we want to arrange something by Panzerballett, and you can choose the lineup, whatever you like. You could choose.
Oh, okay.
So, wow, I can choose whoever I like.
That's like a kid in a candy, like you're in a candy store, right?
Yeah, like you can. So I thought, well, I mean, if there was someone who I wanted to do this, it would be Virgil Donati. And yeah, it was, and they got him. And that was the start. And then it started to evolve. He was a guest, had a guest appearance on the last release too. And then we started working live together. And then he moved from the States to Italy. Now he's closer, so it's easier for him to come here. Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. And one of the things that you mentioned earlier, and I think this is important to mention, is that yeah, you do need a little bit more open-mindedness for this sort of music. And I think it helps when you have also maybe a guitarist like Alex Skolnick from Testament, who has a jazz trio. And even if obviously it's not metal at all, there's no fusion there, it's jazz. But yes, I think some of the more inquisitive Testament fans have listened to it and they have picked it up. They've gone to see him live, and it has, in its own subtle way, opened their minds to this sort of music. So if you take that a little bit further, that's where Panzerballett comes in, right?
Yes. And the thing is that metal and jazz, it mixes like oil and water, like an emulsion. It's not like really good. It takes time. It's a hard thing to blend them in a reasonable way. So, right. And as I know, Alex Skolnick, he's a profound jazz guitar player, and also he plays in Testament. But he does, like, he's very good at doing like the pure thing, like a pure jazz guitar playing, but also like the metalhead stuff, which is amazing. I mean, I think he's an amazing musician. But the thing is, I wanted to do something else. I wanted to do more of, to have at the same time not the pure thing, but to mix it as good as possible together, and you have the same thing, like it was one piece, like right. It's like it was, there was not a different style before, like it doesn't look like it's mixed, or it's
you want to make cohesive. Cohesive. So, Jan, I also wanted to ask you, so when you have music that's this complex and you have players at such high caliber, is it, were you able to do it all in the studio, or did you have to do it remotely?
Yeah, it was all remote.
Oh, God, that sounds like it's the most complex puzzle of all time.
Yes. Well, yeah, but the music is kind of built in a way, or how it is composed. You know, like it is composed in a way that it already works when I'm doing my pre-production. I have my, I'm programming the drums, and I'm making it sound already. The MIDI file is already kind of close to what it should be when it's performed. Of course, it sounds better than a MIDI file when we do, but if I do a pre-production with real guitars and the drum samples, it's already you get a very good imagination of what it should sound in the end. So and each one has the possibility. I can send each one like the music charts, the sheet music, and also I can send them the stems so they can just mute their own voice and practice to it. And everyone can prepare and then go just push record and and record themselves. So that's it's different. Well, there are some things that of course you can't do, like the interaction. If you have the open open parts, like with jazz improvisation. That cannot happen that way. Like that's what the live shows are for.
Mm-hmm.
We open them up, those parts, and make them more like it, have more interaction in it. So yes,
that's wild. Yeah, and you've got the lineup is always changing, which is not because of any conflict, I'm guessing, just scheduling conflicts and things like that. So you're getting all these different energies coming in and out of the group, right?
It's kind of the reality that took over.
Yeah.
At one point, when we had a fixed lineup for 8 years, so it was changing before that, but that constant lineup, that was really, it was amazing to have all the same guys and working on something, and it feels complete. Yeah, it felt really like a band, a thing, and it couldn't be because everyone is getting older, has other priorities, and like Bryan Adams says, Johnny quit, Jody got married.
Yeah.
So, like the life circumstances change and priorities change. So it became harder to get everyone at the same time into the same room. And but tours, I wanted to continue touring, and I kind of for 8 years I didn't think of changing, like having substitutes or having different lineups. I couldn't even think of it, but I had to at that time. I had to think of others, putting them into the, like, how do you say, putting, I'd like to make others be in the pool, in a band pool, like that I can.
Yeah.
So I have a choice from. I had to have more choices who I ask for something. So that opened up also. That was also for the studio thing. I thought, well, I can try stuff now. I can approach drummers or musicians I always wanted to work with, and so that's what I continued on this album with different drummers. We even on that lead, our original drummer Sebastian Lanzer is also playing again. He's playing again, so it's I like working with Sebastian a lot, but on the other hand, he's very busy with his own stuff. Like he has Obsidious, and he's very busy with that too. And well, yeah. So and Virgil's there on the other hand, who has at the moment he is the one who knows most of the repertoire of the bands playing live. So he's the first choice at the moment for the live lineup. Yes.
And you did Pick Up the Pieces, which is a famous track. A lot of people know it. When they hear it, they're going to go, oh, whoa. I mean, I'm hopefully playing a clip of it right now, just in the background here.
Yeah.
What was it like to tackle such an iconic instrumental piece?
Yeah, it was... actually, I was... it started when there is this guy on Instagram, Giacomo Torre. He's a guitar player who posts like funky tunes, funky clips in a very virtuosic way. He's playing stuff, and I thought, wow, that catched me, and it reminded me of he played Pick Up the Pieces, and I thought, wow, that's an old tune that I used to learn when I started picking up the guitar. One of my first funky fusion tunes that I always loved this tune, and I thought, wow, I should actually, now that Giacomo, he got me at that moment. Wow, I want to relearn that song, but I want to relearn it my way.
Right.
I want to do it my way. And my way was funky tunes. What I once did with some skunk funk on the Thank Goodness release. There was a funky tune, like fusion funk, but also a funky tune. It was my way to deal with it was, or to work with it was changing everything into quintuplets. It was all quintuplet infested from the beginning to the start, and I thought I could do it again, but I don't want to do only quintuplets. I want also to do another of my favorite tuplets, that's the septuplets. I want to do both, so I switch between these fives and these sevens. I thought it would be would bring something new to the idea of the quintuplet infested funk song, to the changing between two worlds, 5 and 7. And also I love the 7 grooves, like those grooves that you can create. I love things that I haven't fully got behind, or maybe not, that I'm not that experienced with. I would love to experience with it, because I know it's awesome. I know I just have to invest time to find out what sounds good and what grooves can I possibly play, and like in exploring also candy store. The septuplet candy store. That's my favorite, one of my favorite candy stores at the moment. And so that's when I went into that candy store and added it to the quintuplet candy store, and both it's together in pick up the pieces. Yeah,
it's amazing. And I think when people hear it, they're gonna remember. They're gonna obviously recognize the song, but they're gonna love how you sort of deconstructed it and then put it back together. And that's really great.
Yeah.
It's also worth mentioning, in May, you've got a run of shows for a little over a week, mostly in Germany, right?
In Germany, Switzerland, Austria. Yes.
Oh, okay,
mostly
great.
Germany, mostly, yes.
Okay, so let's talk about it. You've got those shows, and you've got the lineup solid. Virgil's going to be there at the drums. And what's a Panzerballett show like in person? Is it the most energetic thing where stuff's just flying all over the place, or are people going crazy because their heads are exploding? What is it like?
Yeah, well, there is not a big light show or anything. We don't have to the time and energy to we have to set up our instruments. We don't have like a big budget to make a big light show, which would be amazing, but still but it's, I mean, the performance is very energetic, of course.
Yeah.
And it's actually because let me tell you, Panzerballett is actually, for me, it was always a live band. It's the purpose. I do it just only because of live shows. What I do is everything is only about live shows. It's doing these records is just a purpose to.
It's the means to the end.
It's the mean to reach the purpose. The means.
Yeah.
It's just. If it was for me, it was just I would just only play these live shows. I wouldn't probably do any recordings. I would just play these live shows. But I need to have them to justify playing live, kind of. I need the music to the people to being able to listen to the music and get into it and then come to the live show so I put a lot of energy into or efforts into making this live show really as making it as comfortable as possible for the musicians who perform, or making them feel comfortable with how kind of everyone gets some food, everyone gets somewhere to sleep, and everyone gets also some compensation or whatever, and I want to make everyone kind of feel good, and everyone has like decent sheet music. Like I like nice sheets that they're well layouted.
Yeah.
I give them playbacks to practice to, like make them feel as comfortable as possible. Because it's important to me to have a band that's in a good mood and that plays these extremely hard. It's because we all have a hard time on stage memorizing it all, and and the chemistry in the band, of course, is good too. I think the good chemistry in the band is the most. It's the most important thing about it, because if that doesn't fit, you won't make it as good. I think it's and so we get along very well with each other, and and that's but of course, people who come out to the shows, of course, it's brain melting, and you don't see. Well, I would love to see more people headbanging. But that's a kind of, the headbanging part is something you have to, in Panzerballett music, you have to learn. But if you learn it, it's even more extreme. I mean, because you can, but it's at first, if you listen to the music at first, you don't find where could I headbang to. But if you get to know it and get behind it, you will be rewarded by even more extreme headbanging. It will be if you're connected to the Panzerballett matrix, your headbanging will be more intense.
Oh, God. It's like a science experiment, basically.
Yes, totally. But I mean, many people, they just stand there and, oh, what's that? And you can see in their faces, wow, okay, they're impressed. And yes, I love these live shows. It's all that I do it all for these live shows, as I said before. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we've got the tour dates listed on this interview's notes, and it sounds like it's going to be a great run. I'm sure you're going to try to set up some more shows for later in the year, right?
Yes, we're working on it. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know yet how many and where, but I'm aiming to. My dream is, of course, also to return to the States one day, and we'll see what happens with the release. And I hope if the response is as good as we hope, then more people will get to know us, and that will make us stretch our arms further outside, or that will make us tour further than just in Germany.
All right, excellent. Well, Jan, it's been a real pleasure to meet you. Everybody can check out panzerballett.de for more information, check tour dates, things like that. The album is Œuvre, and it comes out April 25th, and it's a real mind trip when you listen to it. So I think you produced something really special, and I was really glad to hear it. And this was my introduction to the band. So I recognized Virgil's name from Planet X. I have one of their old albums, so I said, check it out. And I was kind of, so it's really cool. I can't wait to see how successful this is going to be, and hopefully it takes you around the world.
Yes.
Special thanks again to Jan Zehrfeld of Panzerballett for joining us here today at RadioRadioX. The new album is Œuvre, and it is available through our friends at Hostile City Records. At the top, you heard a clip of Pick Up the Pieces, which you're hearing again now. During the interview, we mentioned Bleed, the Meshuggah cover, and we also played a clip of Alien Hip Hop. Visit panzerballett.de for more information and for tour dates, which will be starting in Germany on May 8th. They'll be over in Switzerland on May 9th and back to Germany for about a week, and then closing out on May 17th in Austria. Always be sure to make legitimate purchases of the music, merch, and tickets to support hardworking artists like those in Panzerballett. Be sure to head on over to RadioRadioX.com for all things music. We've got reviews, we've got interviews, we've got all sorts of great content. I've got an interview with local drumming favorite Jason Bittner of Shadows Fall and Category 7, and another with powerhouse drummer Sean Duncan of LA Guns. I've also got interviews with John Bush, the singer of Category 7 and Armored Saint, and Flotsam and Jetsam guitarist Michael Gilbert, and more. I'd like to thank Art and Rob and everyone over there at the RadioRadioX headquarters. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and all social channels. And be sure to keep coming back to RadioRadioX.com for more updates. I've got more video interviews on the way as well. I am Justin Smulison, new contributor here at Radio Radio X. Thank you so much for tuning in. There's more on the way.